opportunity.
Oh, what? On his way down, able to put that one in.
2-on-1 situation for the remaining defender, but Nectos, he'll take a 2-on-1 any day. And
What a pass completely from the deep.
All right, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another Astronauts Star Circuit Rocket League 3v3 powered by Beyond Entertainment. My name is Frank, and with me tonight is the Pash. Pash, how you doing tonight, man?
I'm doing fantastically. I'm super hyped to get the first Astronauts tournament of the new decade underway, and we have some interesting storylines going into this one. Interesting roster shuffles in the offseason. We're going to see a bunch of new faces, well, old faces on new teams, I should say, and it's going to be super, super hype. I cannot wait to get underway.
Yeah, it's definitely exciting kind of seeing some of the roster changes taking effect almost right away with tonight's Star Circuit event. Of course, prizing for tonight, we'll talk about that really quick. First place going to be taking home $1,500 and second place taking home $500. But the important thing and kind of the new thing with regards to the Star Circuit is, of course, that the points carry over from event to event. And the other interesting thing to note is that they're tied to the player. So when a team makes a roster change, that can affect their seeding for that night's event based on who they either pick up and drop. So to point out a couple things on the graphic you're seeing right now on stream, Spacestation Gaming came in first during the last event with AXB, Sipical, and Arsenal. That has netted them 192 points. So that's how they were seeded going into tonight's event. Then if you look down in fifth place in points right now, you'll see Illusion, Atomic, and First Killer. Of course, First Killer, the recent addition to Ghost Gaming. Those 14 points, though, are coming from just Illusion and Atomic. So 7 points for each of those players, totaled up, none for First Killer, 14 points, the fifth seed. I think you guys kind of get the gist of how that works. But then, of course, going on, more and more events, different players will accumulate more and more points. And if there is more crazy roster changes, that can affect the seeding going into that tournament. And then, of course, the seeding for the grand final that's in April with that $10,000 prize pool on the line. But that being said, tonight's bracket, we'll take a look at that real quick too here. So during semifinal number 1, going to see a pretty exciting matchup. We've got Spacestation going up against Ghost Gaming in our first semifinal. And then the second semifinal tonight is the Pittsburgh Knights going to be going up against RBG Esports. One thing to note, I think Charlotte was the 23rd seed, something lower than you would expect. And they took the Pittsburgh Knights to a Game 5 overtime. And Pittsburgh Knights were able to clutch that one up. But that was some impressive stuff out of Charlotte.
Oh, it absolutely was. Churro, that's the first time we've seen him play, he was in the tournament with Charlotte, and he absolutely paid dividends straight away. I think it was him who prevented a last-second score in game number 5 that prevented Pittsburgh from taking it in regulation. Unfortunately, for Charlotte, obviously, they weren't quite able to clinch it in overtime, but it was absolutely a super competitive match. And that's going to be exciting to see Pittsburgh's form going into the second semifinal tonight. But up first, it's going to be Spacestation versus Ghost Gaming. And on both sides of the bracket, we have sort of the same story going on. A team that hasn't really made any roster changes in the offseason, going up against a team that has picked up one key new player that everyone is going to be super excited and curious to see how they will perform.
Yeah, that's definitely going to be exciting to watch, especially, Ghost Gaming, like we mentioned earlier, picking up First Killer, doesn't have any points yet, but that's kind of the fun thing with the Star Circuit is now he's in the semifinals, and, I mean, if they can dethrone last event's champions, then they're going to be getting a nice chunk of points that'll then seed the next tournament. So that sort of continuity is it's really fun to see, especially for us at Beyond. We had like the leaderboard before that just sort of showed total wins over time, and and stat tracking, things like that. But now having these points tied to the players that kind of seeds into a bigger and bigger event is going to be cool to see how that coincides along with, you know, the roster changes that are typical between different seasons, and kind of seeing a little preview of matchups that might occur kind of down the line. So once we end up getting this full lobby set, we'll get into that first semifinal. But any other things we should know, maybe like the second semifinal that we should be looking forward to regarding those two teams?
Yeah, Pittsburgh Knights, who, as we've just said, just made it barely past the finish line in Game 5 overtime, punching their ticket into the semifinal. And on the other side, it's RBG Esports, and they have memory on their roster tonight. Nothing has been official yet, no announcements having been made, but with memory having been dropped from Ghost Gaming, and then, of course, First Killer coming in, with Ghost Gaming picking up their second Rocket League wonder kid in the span of, I think, a quarter a year. I think Atomic was around September of last year. He did play for them, but yeah, the thing is, it's going to be absolutely interesting to see how they will be squaring up against them, how memory will be integrating into RBG Esports, and whether that roster move is going to be something permanent, because right now, again, nothing has been made official just yet. This might be a trial. There might be things going on behind the scenes we have no idea of. It might be official yet, but there's been no announcement made so far. No one can know. The only thing we can know is, does memory work with RBG? And we are about to find that out in the second semifinal of the night.
Yeah, so that'll definitely be something to look forward to during that second semifinal. And of course, the Pittsburgh Knights during that first Star Circuit event definitely looked very solid. So always interesting to see how little roster changes like that can, you know, affect coherence within a team, and how that kind of works going forward. But it looks like, for the most part, our first semifinal of the night, and again, that is Space Station going up against Ghost Gaming, is just about all set. So as soon as that's locked in and counting down, we will have our first match of the night underway. And of course, all the matches tonight are going to be best of sevens going forward too. So something just to note for you viewers at home tuning in right now. But it looks like the countdown is underway, and we are about to get our first match started.
Yep, first kickoff of the game, and there he is, First Killer under the Ghost Gaming flag. This is going to be absolutely interesting to watch. So Space Station Gaming are reigning champions coming into tonight's bout. And Ghost Gaming, after a shaky North American playoff where they weren't able to win a series, looking to start their push for the next season. Let's see how this will go. First Killer off of the backboard. Illusion is in the corner to cover. AXP will get the save here. Typical, trying to set something up. Arsenal getting into position. Pass comes a little late. First Killer intercepts that. Tommy gets it past AXP, and now Illusion off of the backboard, straight in front of the net. Typical is going to have to go for the goal line and defuse that situation. Pushing forward now. Arsenal trying to bump the only one who was in goal, but Illusion coming in and saving that ball off into the corner. Now a bit of a triple stack here on Ghost Gaming in the corner. Leaves them with little presence in the other parts of the field, but they keep the ball in the corner, knowing well that they have the cards in hand right now. Demolition onto Typical was just a tad too late. The ball had already been saved. And after 1 minute and 20 seconds, we have no goal on the board just yet.
No, nothing just yet, but I gotta say, Ghost Gaming, especially like midfield, their defense looks pretty solid. Just the way they've been able to intercept some of these shot attempts by Space Station.
Here comes First Killer looking
Killer
for
up for it.
Can't quite get that one. Bounces back outfield. Illusion picking up the ball on his own backboard, getting it past Typical. Atomic picks up in the midfield, gets his flip reset. Punts that off into the corner. Illusion coming in, centering the ball. Now Atomic won't be able to get his hands on that one. AXP has that backboard covered just right. Shot from First Killer stopped that in its tracks. Ghost Gaming are making moves. The Space Station Gaming goal, but so far they weren't able to get past the very good final third coverage that Space Station Gaming has shown in this game so far. Generally, though, Ghost Gaming seems like the more aggressive team in this match so far. They've been getting more chances, forcing more saves out of Space Station Gaming. Nothing real dangerous happening yet on the orange half of the field. As we hit halftime, first killer picking up the pass from Aleutian. Off the backboard where Arsenal has that ball's number. Now Sipical gets it past Tommy, gets it past first killer, and down into the lower 90. Sipical breaks the ice.
Yeah, just a great play out of Sipical here, kind of finding that tiny gap in Ghost Gaming's defense, puts it in that bottom corner. They're able to break the ice on that scoreboard. Space Station Gaming going up 1-0 here in semifinal number 1.
Yeah, slow floater. Very good solo play by Sipical, playing out 2 defenders from Ghost Gaming. Now, despite Ghost Gaming getting more and better chances all throughout, all it takes is one surgical strike. And that's exactly what Sipical got. Crossbar hit, second one is put wide. Off into the corner, Sipical can't get control of this ball. AXP coming off the goal line. Ball crosses the midfield, and Arsenal is in a good position to make a play here. Lift it off to Sipical. Arsenal getting blown up here. AXP not in a position to cut the angle. That was a good attempt, and now Ghost Gaming looking to make something happen on the other side. Off the side wall, AXP with a long range clear. Aleutian covers that backboard. Sipical picking up the ball in the midfield. First killer making sure that Space Station won't have that ball to play with. Now AXB, once more, Aleutian and first killer kind of bunched up on one spot. Some weaknesses showing here in Ghost Gaming's defense. Arsenal, one hit against the backboard, and then a whiff from Atomic. Can't get there in time, and Space Station extend their lead.
Yeah, just nice job out of Space Station. I think they have, you know, that a little bit more confidence, a little bit more experience together, and I think that's showing a little bit here in game number 1, whereas Ghost Gaming playing very aggressive, getting some nice shot attempts, but just unable to finish at the very end. So we'll see how the rest of the series plays out for sure.
And the roster change of first killer to Ghost was made official only 3 days ago. Of course, there probably were scrims in the background before it really happened, but you make a good point. It's always those early roster change troubles that teams go through while the players are still trying to find each other, trying to find chemistry with each other. Although first killer and Atomic are definitely no strangers to one another, Atomic finds the opening and gets the deficit to just 1.
Yeah, and that's something that, you know, Ghost Gaming might have a little bit of an advantage of too. You take the opposite side of that coin, whereas, okay, they are new playing together, but they're a new team when facing an opponent. So sometimes they're able to find those little goals like we just saw that might not be expected because they don't have that totally coherent, developed play style yet.
First killer and Arsenal clashing for the ball. Gets killed in the midfield. Atomic will pick it up. Very little boost to go on, though. Sipical catches it. Aleutian now in the corner. Gets it in front of the net. AXP with a good touch. Shutting close the angle that first killer would have had. And blocking his shot attempt as well. Atomic picking up the ball in midfield again. He is low on boost, though. Aleutian has his shot saved by Sipical. Time is running short here. 10 seconds remaining for Ghost Gaming to try and tie this one up. And right now it's Space Station in ball control. Arsenal puts it up high off of the backboard. And AXB snatches the ball right in front of the net. Can put it away. Hits the crossbar, but does not matter. They have the final 10 seconds of the match under full control, and they take home the first game victory with a 1-goal lead.
Yeah, and an interesting, you know, stat line, at least in shot attempts. Ghost Gaming putting a lot of shots on net, so finding some opportunities, but just unable to close it out against Space Station here in game number 1. But with that being said, just, you know, the way they're playing, I think Ghost Gaming definitely has a shot, maybe just getting a little bit more comfortable and recognizing what kind of opportunities they have against Space Station Gaming. Of course, Space Station being, you know, event number 1 winners, they've proved to us they're very solid here in the Star Circuit. So it's Ghost Gaming's opportunity to prove they have what it takes to match up evenly with them in semifinal number 1 here.
Yeah, this is a quality over quantity thing. With I mentioned during the course of the game, Ghost Gaming more aggressive, getting more shots, but the defense from Space Station has been pretty on point tonight. When Space Station got forward, they didn't just pepper the net with shot after shot. They waited for their opportunities, and when they came, they made use of them. It is a pretty slim scoreline, just 1 goal separating the 2 teams, so there isn't really anything that can be inferred from that first game just yet. Let's see if Ghost Gaming come back in this one. Game 2 is underway. Space Station Gaming, reigning champions in the Astronauts Star Circuit. Game 2 underway. AXB kills it on the goal line. First Scooter trying to push it out. Illusion now in the corner. AXB doing a lot of work to keep that ball in the corner. Wasting a lot of time right now. Giving opportunity for Space Station to position themselves. Rebound just get picked up by Illusion. Good save from AXB. First Killer with full boost. Keeps the ball in the blue half. Looking for the pass over to Illusion, but he was on his way to get boost. Ball put onto the backboard. AXB has that one under control for the time being. Atomic trying to cover the midfield. AXB plays it past him, and now Sipical in a good position to make a passing play happen. Atomic picks the ball up. Illusion and Atomic have the far post covered. And a good pass onto First Killer. Can't quite put it away, looking for the double tap, but won't get the second touch. Solid passing play. AXB playing cover here for Arsenal, shadowing him, making sure that the ball is not taken off of him, but ultimately the attack fizzles out. Both teams coming out hot out of the gate in game number 2. Nothing huge happening just yet. First Killer over to Atomic. Ball is put up high. First Killer burning a lot of boost to get to that ball. Atomic has a shot blocked by Sipical. And again, Space Station Gaming very good on reading those Ghost Gaming plays. Always in the spots to make sure to be that wrench in the gears. Full Space Station do now off the backboard. Coming off the corner. Lots of pressure putting on Ghost Gaming right now. First Killer does break through. Arsenal shadowing his every step right now. Gets the block. Atomic in position in the front of the goal. But again, well covered by Space Station Gaming. They really are not letting any risky situations develop right now.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's almost the one thing, sort of the difference that I'm noticing right now is Space Station, even on their offensive attempts, they seem to position themselves just a little bit better for either transitioning onto defense or for follow-up shot attempts than what Ghost Gaming is showing us right now.
Once more, halftime and no scores yet. Atomic getting a save here. First Killer and Illusion just kind of flying past the ball. Atomic picks it up now, having come in from the side, but he has no boost on that play. Illusion puts it off the backboard. Arsenal, not the best of touches. Sipical with a great recovery, though. Keeps the ball out of the danger zone. Atomic again, just above the crossbar, can't get the second touch. AXB trying to keep that ball away. Atomic, good save from Arsenal, but First Killer will put it up high. It comes off of the backboard. Double commit from AXB and Sipical. They had to get that one, but they did, and the situation is diffused for the time being, but lots of pressure coming down now from Ghost Gaming onto Space Station. They really are looking for that first goal of the game. Still double donuts on the scoreboard. Who will be the team to break the ice this time around? Illusion blowing up Sipical mid-air without any boost to his name. That was a missile strike, if I've ever seen one. Game seems to be fizzling out right now. The ball spending a large amount of time in the midfield. Crossbar hit coming out from Ghost Gaming now. And here comes Arsenal, and he hasn't completely opened net because Illusion was taken down by AXB. And yet again, Ghost Gaming with all the pressure, but Space Station, they strike when it's hot.
Yeah, just the Space Station with all the patience in the world, scoring when it matters most. Like you mentioned, like just so everything sort of died down a little bit. Of course, with the clock dwindling down, it was a big goal for whoever was going to score the next one. It ends up being Space Station. See if Ghost Gaming has an answer here for us, though.
So the story of Game 1 repeats itself yet again. We're waiting a long time for the first goal. Ghost Gaming looking like they are just about to score it, and then Space Station take the lead apropos of nothing. Final minute is on the board. And right now it's Space Station with all the cards in hand. Arsenal doing a good job of keeping control of the ball there. First Killer gets the block, and now Illusion looking to start an attack. Pass onto First Killer is good. Has to play that off into the corner, but no one's there to actually contest that ball. So the rotation's a little off from Ghost Gaming here. We see a lot of passes into empty space, but there's just no one to pick it up, and Space Station will gladly take possession and run with it. You can definitely see coordination issues on Ghost Gaming for the time being.
Yeah.
They have the raw talent on their roster to really achieve something big, but right now the chemistry just doesn't seem to be there.
Yeah, almost like Space Station, I think, just having that comfort and that experience with each other. They're able to relax and know that, you know, one of their teammates has their back. Whereas Ghost Gaming, you can tell some of the passes and some of the shots might feel a little desperate or panicked, perhaps just because of that less experience of playing with each other.
The last 10 seconds of this game, pretty symptomatic of the problems that Ghost Gaming is currently having. They had the ball in their possession for the entirety of that last 10-second countdown, but they weren't even able to get it out of their own half. Space Station didn't really offer a lot of pressure there. They were content just watching them play the ball from corner to corner in their own half, just covering the midfield. And Ghost Gaming, this time they were outshot by Space Station Gaming as well.
Yeah. And I think
And now they are on match point here. Space Station coming out huge in the first semifinal.
Yeah, Space Station looking very solid. Of course, kind of to be expected. I did think Ghost Gaming might have a little bit more electricity to show us with that addition of First Killer. Always such a potent, you know, 1v1 player, and just really electrifying to watch. But Space Station seems to just have those answers, that comfort, and especially on defense, they just look very solid. All the rotations are on point. You know, never really leaving anything easy for Ghost Gaming to capitalize on. So here we go, match number 3. And I believe we did a poll in the Twitch chat earlier on who our audience tonight thought was going to take this semifinal number 1. It was about even 50-50 split down the middle. So
Yeah.
we'll have to see what Ghost Gaming has for us, because right now they're starting off a little bit quiet.
Yeah, if we ran that poll again right now, I think the results would be very different.
Totally, yes.
But it does go back into that ages-old discussion of raw talent versus team cohesion. I mean, you look at the roster of Ghost Gaming, and that's a roster that can make it far at LAN, that can definitely make it to LAN in the first place.
Yeah.
Space Station Gaming, semifinal exit in the RLCS finals. They've been playing together for a long time. No roster changes needed. They can still do great things together. Ghost Gaming is just missing what Space Station has in cohesion right now. We're seeing a lot of coordination issues here. They're going to have to iron that out
Yeah.
before the next season starts.
Of course, they have the potential to do it. It's just this is, yeah, like you mentioned, the announcement was made just a few days ago that First Killer was officially picked up. Of course, behind the scenes, I'm sure there was some tryout and experience time playing together there, but the tournament scene and when pressure's on the line, always a little bit different results-wise. So a couple things they can iron out, and they'll definitely be a solid roster going forward, but right now Space Station just has the apparent advantages over them in this first best of 7 here. So up 2-0 in this series, but we'll see if Ghost Gaming can, on the fly, make a couple of those corrections that they need to.
But it isn't quite match point yet. Jumping the gun here a little bit on my part. But,
Oh,
yeah,
that's
it's a
all
best of 7, so...
Space Station was just looking that solid, that's all.
So yeah, still a safety net below Ghost Gaming, but yeah, we're seeing the story repeat yet again. Ghost Gaming just trying quantity over quality up in front. But no goals scored yet. Here comes Illusion. Oh, inside of the crossbar. That was about as close as they were going to get there. First Killer, another shot. This one bounces off the post. Atomic
wow.
puts it off the crossbar as well. You have to put that away. I don't know how the ball didn't cross the line.
That's just heartbreaking right there. I'm sure they're feeling the pain as well. Ghost Gaming, plenty of attempts to get that first goal lead of the series, but just millimeters off, unable to capitalize, and that's just got to be tough.
And again, another scoreless halftime. Ghost Gaming as close as they were in the series to score before Space Station did. Here comes AXB Atomic with a last-second save on the goal line. They almost struck again. And now they are turning up the aggression. Long-range clear. AXB picks it up. First Killer centering the ball. AXB with fantastic backboard coverage all night long so far in the semifinal. Atomic straight down the middle, but Pacifical will put that off the backboard. 2 minutes left to play. Space Station break the ice yet again. That is going to be tough for Ghost Gaming to have that happen 3 times in a row, getting so close to scoring and then just getting scored on. And pretty much getting shut down from that point onward.
Yeah, it just seems like, I mean, Space Station has the rotations and the pressure on the ball that Ghost Gaming just hasn't been able to break through just yet.
Oh, there it is!
Nice.
What a shot from AXB. Perfect pass from Arsenal onto him. Look at that. Perfect backboard coverage, and that AXB puts a screamer. Crossfield catching Ghost Gaming out on the rotation, and history has repeated itself yet again. Space Station are the ones to score.
Yeah, almost a perfect mirroring of the second game in this first semifinal, where about 1:30 left on the clock, Space Station Gaming gets the first goal, and then we'll have to see if Ghost Gaming is able to make this story any different. But so far, what we've been seeing is them just struggling to break through what Space Station's throwing at them.
Typical has that ball. Oh, keeps his flip until he's right in front of the net. What a goal from Sipical. He gets his reset here and then flips. Just put it just underneath of the crossbar. No chance for the goalie there. No chance in heck to save that one. And they extend their lead to 2. Crazy stuff from Space Station.
Yeah, 1 minute remaining on the clock. Space Station up 2-0. That's actually the biggest lead we've seen so far in the semifinal, as the amazing defense and presence. Oh, here we go, another one. Rolling it in. So Space Station Gaming showing some more cracks in Ghost Gaming's armor.
Oh boy. Atomic, he was in a tough spot for that one. Arsenal really had all the cards in his hand for that play. There was no real backup for Ghost Gaming in that situation. That means now we see the highest lead indeed. I think in game 1, Space Station already went up by 2-0. Ghost Gaming making it 2-1 then, but still wasn't enough. With 34 seconds left on the clock. This is looking like we're going to a game 4 match point for Space Station Gaming. And Ghost Gaming, while they did look dangerous for short spurts, the domination is just not on the pitch. The cohesion is just not visible. And they really got to be kicking themselves for that one goal. They got pretty much 3 open shots and put them all against the woodwork. And that's going to be 4 as AXB sneaks one past. I mean, Ghost Gaming, there wasn't really anything they could have done in that situation. They pretty much had to devote everything to offense. It was only a matter of time until Space Station got a good touch. 4-0 now. The lead has been increasing. First game, 2-1. Second game, 2-0. Third game, 4-0.
Yeah, and I think
Ghost Gaming, it's just been a story of them crumbling apart as the series went on.
Yeah, I think that first goal where they had 3 kind of open shot attempts and were just unable to find the net was sort of a representation of that breakdown that we saw during game number 3 here. It seems like things kind of fell apart for them, whether they got mentally frustrated or just, I'm not sure what happened, but Space Station recognized that they were able to come out on top quite easily and yeah, found the highest scoring game so far of this semifinal with 4-0 over Ghost Gaming.
Yeah, it's got to be tough for Ghost Gaming. I mean, again, this is pretty much the first time we see them play in a competitive environment. I'm pretty sure there have been scrims and practice with the first killer on the roster for long before the move was announced.
Right.
But still, there's just... They are completely getting outplayed as far as teamwork and cohesion goes, and it really, really shows time and time again. And then if you can put away, if you can put away sitters, then that's just another chink to your armor that's already pretty riddled with chinks at this point.
Yeah.
Ghost Gaming definitely needs something to get their heads out of the gutter.
Right, and just being able to say, you know, even mentally, like, hey, yeah, we're a new roster, and the first 2 games were close. They were definitely in them. Even the first game, they had, I think, something like 5 or 6 more shot attempts than Space Station even had. But just mentally, maybe the mental endurance isn't there. The confidence isn't quite there yet. They're not, 100% gelling together, but there's a great shot attempt by AXB, thankfully.
Space Station coming hot out of the gate here. forcing a bunch of saves out of Ghost Gaming straight off the bat. They were able to deflect that onslaught for the time being, and now First Killer looking to make something happen, but AXB has got that backboard covered like he has for the entirety of the series. Nothing gets past him, it seems. Evolution versus Typical. Ball gets spiked. Switch either half of the field. Atomic can't quite get control of the ball. That's a fantastic play from First Killer onto Atomic, though. Puts it a little wide. Great opportunity. And again, First Killer and Atomic, they are no strangers to one another. They've played plenty of games in the bubble scene before either of them were even eligible. But here comes Ghost Gaming, and this is the first time they take the lead. It was prior to halftime as well. Atomic doing a lot of work there, faking both Arsenal and AXB into going for a contest that was never gonna happen. Revolution comes in and picks up a sitter.
Yeah, nice stuff. Ghost Gaming showing getting on the board first here, showing a little bit more signs of life. So maybe this will be a little opening for him, a little confidence boost here in game number 4, where Space Station, of course, is on match point.
That's got to be a boost of confidence right there. We can take the lead. We can score. This is the second goal they've scored all series. So
Right.
this should be a big deal to Ghost Gaming. You gotta watch out not to get the equalizer. First Killer saving that one on the goal line. Follows it up, puts it wide. Nice ceiling bounce there. Flies into the goal. No backup. Space Station will pick that ball up gladly. XP crossing it into the box. No one there to pick up on the cross. Arsenal. Ooh, this is going to be a slow roller. Oh my goodness. Demolition happening on the goal line. The ball, though, has no interest in finding the net. Close call right there for Ghost Gaming, but they hold on to their lead for the time being. But look at the aggression from Space Station Gaming right now. Arsenal looking to bomb Evolution. Important touch to get that out of scoring range. Now Ghost Gaming's defense is getting tested. AXB gets it past off the wall. Important touch by First Killer to just put a little more distance between the ball and that goal. But Space Station, relentless aggression right now. And with that demo onto Atomic, the gates are wide open. And Space Station will tie it up, one apiece.
I was going to say, Space Station, what they don't need to do in that situation, finding themselves down to Ghost Gaming for the first time in the series, is panic or get flustered. And they showed there that they still have the same calmness and presence of mind, even when playing, being down a goal. So that's great stuff out of them here in semifinal number 1.
You gotta get it took Space Station until after halftime to score.
Yeah, true.
Which, not long.
They're
this time
consistent,
around.
yeah.
Yeah, they are very consistent. They spend half the game staking out their opponents, and then they're like, okay, let's turn up the gear.
Right.
It's time to score. 2 minutes and 30 are done, so let's start playing. Anyway, 1 goal apiece. There's definitely a better position for Ghost Gaming than in the previous series, which isn't saying much because, well, the previous games in the series haven't gone their way. But still, they are putting up a fight. Typical doing good work. Getting a bounce. Evolution, not the touch he was looking for. Is going to give up possession to Space Station again. Block from Evolution. Bounces off the corner. AXB positioned a little too far forward. Typical is blown up by First Killer, and they have to score that one. Yes, thank you. Ghost Gaming looking for the demos. Catching Space Station with their pants down, as they were looking to push their advantage a little too hard.
Yeah, and it's, you know, some solid little teamwork, and you can even tell the communication between those two members of Ghost Gaming was there. The shot was a little off target, but First Killer was, of course, there for a follow-up, and extending the lead even more now. The 2-goal lead off that kickoff goal.
Kickoff goal. Nicely played by Evolution. Kills the ball just behind enemy lines, and First Killer with full momentum just rushing through. Catching Arsenal off as he was trying to go get boost. This is a nice, comfortable lead for Ghost Gaming.
Yeah. Has to be a little confidence booster for him, too, here. I think that's showing in their gameplay for sure.
Atomic in the midfield. Forward. First Killer coming in from behind. Doesn't quite get the touch off the side wall. Final minute is on the board as we see Arsenal and First Killer blow up each other. demos coming in left and right now. Space Station found their formula. Atomic pushing it forward. Arsenal gets the save. Nice fake to keep control of the ball. Pops it up high. Makes the second defender fly into thin air. Space Station doing a very good job right now at keeping ball possession, but they still have to score 2 to at least make it to overtime here. This one's going to come out high off the backboard. Sipico spikes the ball, hits the crossbar. AXB going to have to wrap around that one, slightly mispositioned for a follow-up attempt. Big chance for Space Station, but slightly misaligned on that play. And just looking like Ghost Gaming will not let themselves get swept here. And will take it to a game 5 at least, as another save coming in from AXB looking to pay back some of those goals they have been scored on. Game 4 is taken by Ghost Gaming, and they score 3 times in this game, which is, 3 times as much as they have scored the entire series prior to this.
Yeah, so
this could be the start of a big comeback.
Yeah, and I think even just because we've been, kind of aware of First Killer and these other players, Atomic and Illusion too, but with First Killer especially, I think you look at him really as a big momentum-based player. So once he's sort of feeling comfortable and able to get going, that's when he can really start taking off. And once he feels comfortable and like he can play his game. So I wouldn't be surprised if Ghost Gaming starts putting up a little bit more of a fight in this semifinal just based off of that game. And one thing to note too that I just thought was pretty impressive, because we always talk about First Killer and in his 1v1s how strong he is and his mechanical skill on offense, but he was making some fantastic plays on defense too, and very pivotal moments when Space Station was really starting to get going. He had a couple of nice blocks and won some 50-50s that were really important for Ghost Gaming.
So game 5 and that game 4, as we've already said, should be a huge confidence boost for Ghost Gaming, because it showed them that it can work. They can lay the smackdown on their opponents. Space Station Gaming in tradition for this series, starting it hot and heavy. Typical. Nice ball off the backboard. AXB is taken out. Arsenal. Ooh, wow. What a shot. Perfectly placed.
Yeah, just with that little touch, comes in. Post is in his favor.
Yeah.
And Space Station Gaming with a goal way before halftime now.
Yeah, that's true, actually. They didn't wait long this time around, but yeah, he had the entirety of the goal to try and cover there. First Killer was dead center inside the net. All he could do was try and make his best attempt at saving that, but it never really should have gotten to that point in the first place. Not sure if covering the backboard was the right decision in that situation, but as it stands, Space Station will get another goal cross map this time around. AXB with a perfect ceiling bounce and Illusion, just a tad bit late on the contest. Catching Ghost Gaming mid-rotation.
Yeah.
And that's a 2-goal lead. 35 seconds in. No, 45 seconds
yeah.
in. Yeah.
Which is, much faster. Well, I mean, Space Station is coming out with all the answers here in game number 5. Said, all right, Ghost Gaming, we'll let you have your 1. I guess we'll start playing before halftime in game number 5. We'll just try to end this one here. But we'll see if Ghost Gaming can answer. Of course, they showed us in the previous game they can at least put some high-scoring games on the board, but I wonder if that was just a little bit of a wake-up call to what might have been a lax Space Station Gaming after those first 3 victories for them.
AXB, shot on target, saved by Illusion. Ball in the corner, Arsenal looking to center is a little too far forward. Atomic has no problem saving that one, but again, so much pressure onto Ghost Gaming right now. This is really going to test their team cohesion, which has looked much improved in Game 4, but certainly not going to help if they go down this high this early into the second match point. Another slow roller. Atomic can just get to it barely in time. Add a little degrees onto those angles. 2 minutes have passed. Nothing too dangerous happening yet. For Ghost Gaming, that's a good touch from First Killer. First, they're trying to run interference there, trying to get some bumps onto the defense, but ultimately nothing really sticks right now. Ghost Gaming are back to their pre-game 4 woes, where they try a lot of stuff, but nothing seems to be working. The Space Station is just reading every single one of their plays. Another push forward. First clear in the corner, loses ball control to Typical. Lisbon doing amazing defensive work all game long. Any other day, and with a defense that's not quite as amazing as this one, I think Ghost Gaming would have gotten a lot more goals, and we would have seen a lot closer series, although, apart from that 4-0 in game number 3, the scoreline in the series does not really do the game justice. I mean, yes, Ghost Gaming were pretty outclassed for most of it, but yeah, as I say that, Typical scores yet another one, 3-0 now, and Ghost Gaming have a hell of a mountain to climb in front of them.
Yeah, I think the first 2 games especially, being, 2-1 and I think 1-0 in game 1 and 2, they were very close. Like, Ghost Gaming just, there's just a couple things just tuning-wise that if they worked on, you might be looking at a way, the series score doesn't represent how back and forth the games really have been. I think it's just how comfortable Space Station is able to feel with their teammates out on the pitch versus Ghost Gaming. Like, you can tell with certain plays, Space Station Gaming knows they have backup, whereas Ghost Gaming sometimes maybe looks a little desperate or rushed out there in what they're going for, maybe because there is just still a little bit of unfamiliarity with themselves as players and what positions they're going to be in and what they should be looking for. And I think that's just kind of the main difference in what sets these 2 teams apart. Because the series score line doesn't really indicate how close some of these games have really been.
In the end, you still can't really call it undeserved because, again, while the score margins were fairly slim, it was still fairly apparent that Ghost Gaming is just facing an opponent that is better than them.
A little bit more prepared.
I mean, you gotta be blunt here. I mean, Space Station is the better team tonight. There's no doubt about that. I mean, it's certainly not going to help. I mean, this is his first professional contract. He is definitely no stranger to playing under pressure. He has, I mean, there's a reason he was such a hot prospect. Oh my goodness. Oh, they can't put it away. Almost a 4-0 there, but in the end, that's just adding salt into the wound. But as I was saying, First Killer is no stranger to playing under pressure. There's a reason why he was such a hot prospect and why orgs were scrambling to pick him up, because he has got a hell of a lot of talent, as we see the 4-0 going in. But at this point, the game is pretty much has been over for the past few minutes already.
Right. Yeah. Playing from this much of a deficit, nothing you can really do. But yeah, I think Ghost Gaming, while they might have struggled a little bit this game, certainly don't look like untalented or undeserved or anything like that. We know how good of a player First Killer is, but it is just a new team kind of having to find their footing, and this is just the process of becoming a better team. Is you have to take some beatings a couple times, lose a couple of series, and figure out the holes in your game. And that's how you get better, really. So it's going to be Space Station Gaming taking game number 5 and the first semifinal here. So Space Station Gaming yet again back Star Circuit events. Space Station Gaming punching their ticket to the grand finals.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's one thing that is that is absolutely valuable for Ghost Gaming, and that is real tournament environment experience with that new team. I mean, to get back to my point, yes, First Killer is no stranger to playing under pressure, but still, this is his first professional contract. He knows that all eyes are going to be on him tonight. Everyone wants to see, Ghost Gaming has picked up the hottest thing in Rocket League, the hottest young prospect, the wonder kid for all those football manager players out there.
Yeah.
But, the pressure is going to be immense on the guy. And maybe that's something that he's not quite used to, because usually, I mean, you're a bubble scene player. You aren't even eligible to get picked up. It's not quite the same to play your first competitive game under your first professional contract.
Yeah, it's a totally new experience, and it can be, nerves, I'm sure, a little bit different. You don't just have fans or eyes on you in like a Twitch chat scenario to prove. Now you have an organization that you have to prove yourself to as well. And I'm sure that just being a new experience adds to some of that pressure, and then the pressure of, new team, finding your footing with that role. So yeah, it's just Ghost Gaming looks very solid on paper. I'm sure they'll do well, going forward in these Star Circuit events. But right now, Space Station just has the experience. And that showed tonight in that first semifinal. So they take that series 4-1. But of course, we've got another semifinal that's going to be on the way, on the docket for you guys at home watching right now. And that's going to be the Pittsburgh Knights going up against RBG Esports. So semifinal number 2 coming at you guys in just a little bit. We'll be right back. Stay tuned.